If you ever played RPGs, you know the drill. There's always a massive boss fight that brings your guilds together, and in Watchers of Realms, it's no different. Enter the Guild Boss 1, the almighty dragon who's here to test your team and your patient. But hey, the bigger the score, the better the loot, right? Taking on this scaly nightmare in the early to mid game can feel like trying to barbecue a dragon with a candle. Challenging to say the least. But fear not, my friends, because in today's video, I'm sharing the ultimate tips and tricks to help you boost your damage, climb the leaderboard, and claim those sweet, sweet treasures. So grab your gear, gather your heroes, and stay tuned because this guide will help you reach the max reward score and maybe even make that dragon think twice before showing up. Now that we've covered the essentials for taking on the Guild Boss 1, let's dive into the fundamental buffs and the buffs that can make or break your score. Understanding these mechanics is key to squeezing out every bit of damage from your team. First, let's talk about the buffs. These are effects you can apply on the boss to weaken it or increase the damage it takes. We have Poison, Burning, and Bleeding. These deal continuously damage over time, but they each have a unique twist. For example, Bleeding not only deals true damage based on the boss max HP, but it also makes it takes more physical damage, defense reduction, and vulnerability. These two are heavy hitters when it comes to amplifying your team's damage. Defense reduction lowers the boss defense, while vulnerability makes your attacks hit harder. With the buff sorted, let's flip the coin, guys, and talk about buffs. The tools your heroes use to boost your team's damage output. Inspiration buff. These increases your allies' attack power, letting them hit harder. Rage recovery buffs. These restores your hero's rage, helping them unleash ultimates more often, and let's be real. More ultimates means more damage, and more damage means better loot. Now that we've laid out all the buffs and debuffs, let's talk about the heroes that can apply them and how they can fit into your team composition. Starting with Rage Regen heroes, guys, we have some standout options here. Hollow, a reliable epic support who restores rage over time every time she uses her ultimate. Laurel, our broccoli queen, guys, with her talent to restore 50% of your team's rage cap when removed or defeated. She's a game changer in the right scenario. Elowen and Layla, the premium options for those who are lucky enough to summon these heroes. They're a top tier when it comes to rage recovery. Moving on to inspiration heroes, we have none other than Dolores, guys, the current queen of boosting ally attack. Her buffs helps mitigates the dragon high damage, giving your DPS heroes a fighting chance. But buffs alone won't win the day. You need the buffs heroes to really crank up the damage. For defense reduction, Legendary Lord Torador is a top tier pick, decreasing enemy defense by 20%. Don't have him? No problem. Estrid is a more accessible option with a chance to apply defense reduction on each attack. For vulnerability, look no further than Pyros, an epic lord, or Voka, who's available for everyone for completing the story quest. Lastly, we have the damage over time effects like Burning and Bleeding. While Poison isn't really effective against the dragon, Burning and Bleeding are crucial. Wrath, a free epic lord, is a great option for Burning, while Zalazar, Komodo, and Valadov are excellent for applying Bleeding. If you're lucky enough to have these heroes, make sure they're in your lineup. Now that we've broken down the buffs, and the hero who brings them, you're well equipped to optimize your team and tackle on the dragon. But knowing your heroes is just one piece of the puzzle. Understanding the boss mechanics is just as important. In the next section, everybody, we're gonna be diving into the dragon's ability, attack patterns, and best strategies to counter them. Stay tuned because mastering this will bring you even closer to achieving your max reward score. Now that we've gone over the heroes and their buffs and debuffs, let's talk about the dragon itself and its key mechanic, because understanding this is crucial for survival and success. The dragon's main mechanic is called Watan Bar. Think of it as an ultimate test of your team's strength and coordination. Here's how it works. The dragon will charge up a devastating attack, and during this time, it will generate a shield. Your goal? Break that shield before the timer runs out. If you succeed, you interrupt the attack and stun the dragon, and give your team a chance to unleash more damage. But if you fail, the dragon will nuke your entire team, wiping you out. This mechanic happened 3 times during the fight, and each shield gets progressively stronger, requiring more damage to break. To handle this, it's critical to save your main DPS hero's ultimates and use them at the perfect moment to burst through the shield. Heroes with high burst damage are absolutely essential during this phase. They can quickly deal the massive damage needed to bring that shield down. If you're wondering which heroes is best to invest in to handle this mechanic effectively, I highly recommend checking out the tier list over at fastidious.gg. Their tier list has a filter for a specific content like the Guild Boss, and it's a fantastic tool to help you build the right team to conquer Guild Boss 1. With the Dragon's mechanic explained, you now have a solid foundation to tackle this fight head on. But we're not stopping here. Up next, I'll share some tips and tricks to squeeze out even more damage, and maximize your score, and claim those top tier rewards. Stay tuned! Now that we covered the dragon's mechanics, let's dive into some essential tips and tricks to maximize your damage and score against the Guild Boss 1. The first key tip is proper hero placement. For example, if you're using Dolores for her inspiration buff, remember her platform tile only affects 3 adjacent ground tiles. To maximize her effectiveness, it's best to include only 3 DPS characters positioned on the ground tile so they all receive her buffs. For healers with a large range, like Hollow or Vortex, you want to place them in the back corner of the battlefield. This way, they can cover all your allies with their healing and support. Next, as you progress further into the game, you can start building gear sets to boost your team's performance. One standout set is the Invigoration set, which grants the wearer and a random ally in range a 10% bonus to attack. This set works wonders on supports like Dolores or Hollow, when paired up with your strongest DPS heroes. Personally, I run 3 Invig sets on my supports and use them strategically with my top damage dealing heroes. For instance, I would place my Sun Wukong down on the battlefield first, then I bring in Hollow with the Invigoration to give him a substantial attack boost. And remember, more than one support can use Invigoration, making it a fantastic way to amplify your team's output. Of course, there are more gear sets that can enhance your heroes as well, but we'll save those for another video. And if you guys want to learn more about the advanced gear strategies, make sure to subscribe. Finally, let's talk about the unique synergy between our beloved Broccoli Queen, Laurel, and the free legendary hero Volca, whom everyone gets for free by completing the story quest. Here's the trick, everybody. Laurel's ability allows her to grant 50% rage cap to all allies every time she's picked up from the battlefield. Now, you pair that up with Volca's Awaken 1 ability, which reduces allies' redeployment time by 25%. This means you can just cycle Laurel back into the fight even faster, allowing her to recharge your team's rage more frequently. And as we said before, more ultimates means more damage, and which leads to better rewards. With these tips and tricks in your arsenal, you'll be well on your way to improve your damage against Guild Boss 1. And that wraps up everything we covered in today's guide. Let's quickly recap. We started with the essential buff and debuffs to help you increase your damage, including defense reduction, vulnerability, and bleeding, as well as the critical buffs like inspiration and rage recovery. Then, we discussed the key heroes that bring these effects onto your team. from easy access options like Hollow and Voka to premium choices like Elwyn and Torador. Next, we broke down the Dragon's mechanics, focusing on its Rattan bar, shield phases, and why having strong burst DPS heroes and saving your ultimate at the right time is crucial to succeed in the fight. Finally, we wrapped it up with a game-changing tips and tricks like proper hero placement, maximizing gear sets like Invigoration, and the insane synergy between Laurel and Voka to get those ultimate rolling even faster. If you found this video helpful, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Please let me know which tips you'll be using or what is your favorite hero for taking down the Guild Boss 1. I would love to hear your thoughts, everybody. And if you're craving more Watchers of Realms content, be sure to keep up with the channel. I'm always dropping guides, tier lists, and more to help you dominate the game. Speaking of exciting content, don't miss out on my Twitch stream this weekend. I will be summoning all of my ancient shards live, and it's gonna be a blast, everybody. Whether you want to watch some epic pulls, share what you summoned, or just hang out and chill with everyone, it's a stream you don't want to miss. Come join the fun. Link to my Twitch is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and happy gaming, everybody.